You're not always going to be guaranteed to have a toilet. Going on a ski trip is a huge deal. It takes a lot of planning and a lot of organisation, and often there are a lot of mistakes that are made, whether you're going for the first time or whether you're an experienced ski traveller. So today I'm going to talk about the biggest ski travel mistakes that you can avoid. Okay, so you've now landed, you're in the country that you're meant to be at, and numbers 15 to 19 are going to be about travelling to the resort. Starting with number 15, booking or having the wrong type of transfer. Warning, to those of you with travel sickness, do not book a coach as your transfer to the resort. The roads are very long and windy, and you're not always going to be guaranteed to have a toilet that is operable. It's not easy to stop. For those of you that do suffer from travel sickness, it is worth paying that little bit extra for a private transfer. That's a smaller car, it's a lot more nimble and easier to stop in laybys if you do feel that you're going to be sick. Number 16, I know I said that coaches aren't great for people that suffer with travel sickness, but for everybody else, this is the easiest way for you to get to your resort. Do not think about getting taxis when you're in a ski resort, because you will get ripped off. It is far easier to go via coach because these drivers are far experienced when it comes to driving on mountain roads. And if you're going on a holiday with a tour operator, you may have one with you on the coach, and they will be able to take you directly to the hotel that you are staying at. When you're in the resort itself, if you're looking to get around, use the public bus system. These are often free. Number 17 is not researching train stops and the schedules. Now in Europe, the Eurostar and the TGV are really awesome and unique ways to travel to the mountains. But you need to be prepared for the fact that at certain times, certain months, these trains don't run regularly, and also they are susceptible to the weather. So if it is snowing, this can affect the tracks and can affect the cables. By all means, go pick this as your method of transport, but just make sure you do your research. Number 18, and again, this is a plea as a former rep, please do not leave your welcome pack on the coach. Now, if you're booking a ski holiday with a tour operator and you have pre-booked lift passes, ski equipment, tuition, you will be given a personalised envelope on the coach on the way up to the resort. In that, you have your lift passes that are registered to you via a code, a specific code. You will have voucher numbers for your equipment and your hire. If you leave those on there, it creates anywhere between an hour to 3 hours extra work for your company to go away and sort out you getting ready to go skiing. And first and foremost, you don't want to have any more anxiety or any more worries that you might have already had at the start of this holiday. So when you get given this envelope, make sure you've read everything, but do not put it in that pouch in the coach in front of you. Put it in your hand luggage, put it in whatever bag you have accessible that you're not going to leave on the coach. So you can get that with you to the resort, and then you can go skiing at 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. Number 19, I guess it goes without saying, having just done the last one, please don't leave valuables on the coach either. People do leave bags, people leave passports, tablets, teddy bears, reading glasses, you name it, it all gets left in there, because not only do you have the pouch in front of you, you have the under bit of the seat, you also then have the overhead part of the coach as well. And if it's a long transfer, you often want to maybe relax a bit, rest your head, watch a movie, fall asleep, and some people, sadly again, they do drink. So all of those things that you're doing, you run the risk of forgetting. These are huge mistakes that you do not want to avoid, because they add to the stress of your holiday and they create a lot of work for other people. Numbers 20 to 24, we're going to be dealing with you now being in the resort. And to start us off, not adjusting your clocks to the local time zone. It sounds like such a small mistake, but it really does catch people out, particularly when you're in the mountains. There may only be a time difference of 1, 2, or maybe even 3 hours, But for you, you want to get out and maximize the time that you have out on the mountains. And for those of you with smartphones in particular, these now will adjust the moment you turn them back on and when you arrive in your new country, so that'll adjust, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're a little bit old-fashioned, you have a watch, you want to just make sure that it's all on that same level. Another thing is actually clock changes. When there's periods in the year where the clocks go forward or they go back, they have been known quite regularly to catch skiers out, particularly if they're catching a transfer down from the mountain to fly home and they miss their coach by an hour or two. Just always watch out for those things. People constantly ask about them in the mountains. Number 21 is not arranging a late night check-in or an exchange of keys for the apartment or ski chalet that you're staying in. If the weather affects your transfer and you're gonna be late, you wanna phone up and contact the hotel, letting them know that you're gonna be late. The reason why you wanna do this is so that A, they will keep someone there to be able to let you in, because not all hotels have someone on the reception 24 hours and you're gonna need a way to be able to get into the hotel. Also, if you let them know, they can prepare some cold plates so that after your long, tiring, stressful day, they're going to have some food ready for you in your room and you can just have some food, jump in the shower and get straight into bed. With chalets and apartments with your keys, this is even more important because you don't want to be just sat outside in the cold, not finding a way to get in. Make sure that you've spoken to the tenants before to let them know that you're going to be late, or you've arranged a way in which you can get those keys and just get straight in to where it is you're staying. Number 22 is not sorting out your data plan or having access to Wi-Fi. You want to stay connected, you might have work back home, you want to be posting things on social media to show people obviously how much of a great time you've had. And if your phone doesn't allow you to access the internet while you're overseas, you are stuck. Luckily, Wi-Fi is accessible in a lot of places. A lot of the bars and ski resorts as a whole actually have like a free accessible Wi-Fi. One tip to remember: when you do arrive in the country, make sure you go into your phone settings and flick the data roaming on. I have so many people, I'm sorry to say, in their old age who came up to me and said, I'm having loads of problems with my phone, I can't text my daughter back home or my son to let them know I've got here. You know that story. And then just with one slide onto the data roaming, that's it, they're fine. But again, check that, make sure you can get on Wi-Fi, then it's all plain sailing. Number 23 is not having any confirmation of ski hire, lift passes or tuition when required. Now really this applies for when you go to the ski hire shop mainly, because they will need to take, remember the voucher numbers that I mentioned earlier? They will need to take those down and you need to have something printed out or a copy of an email on your phone visible. Because if you don't have those, you're not guaranteed you're going to get your equipment hire on time and ready before you want to go out and skiing. And sometimes when it's a busy period, the queues in hire shops can be really, really long. And if you have those things there, you stand a better chance of getting things quickly. Staying on the subject of ski hire for the final one, number 24 is not collecting your ski equipment on Saturday night. Remember how I talked about why you should book an earlier flight rather than a midday flight? If you get into a resort midday sort of Saturday and you decide not to go pick up your pre-booked equipment, then you, sir, you, madam, are a fool. And the reason why that being is because Sunday morning is a huge mad dash. You are a very fortunate few to have arrived in the resort early on Saturday morning. And it makes sense to go collect your equipment hire stuff or go and buy or rent equipment hire on that Saturday. So those are my biggest ski travel mistakes to avoid. I hope you found that really, really useful. We're starting to count down now towards the winter season in particular. There's been some snowfall on the tops of the mountains within Europe. So if you are a ski enthusiast, I'm sure you've been, your ski legs have been twitching. And if you're thinking about booking a holiday, hopefully these things will come in handy. If you have liked this video, it would mean a lot, guys, if you hit the like and the subscribe button, as it just helps me grow the channel even more. And stay tuned for more content.